Hey there, cruisies. Today's topic is the most famous and dreaded part of cruising, which is research and savings. I'm Melissa.
And I'm April.
And we are your Cruise Fix Chicks. So we are going to start out this one going over the trivia question from last week, and I'll let April take that away.
Okay. So last week we asked you fellow cruisies why the hulls of any ship or freight liner is painted red. And the reason for that is so that the marine organisms can't grow on the bottom of the boats. Cool. Back in the day when the hulls were made of wood, the paint was copper based. Now that they have steel and iron hulls, the paint is lead based, but they still serve the same purpose.
Oh. Okay. So it's basically to not have the organisms stick to the bottom of the boat, which makes sense because
yeah, because they would grow, and especially with wood, and it would rot away, and stuff like that. But and of course the organisms on the iron or steel boats, they start to rust and so forth and so on. So how many of y'all did get that right? Because I didn't know that.
I honestly didn't know that either. It was a kind of a shocker to me because one, I was like, wait a minute, are they red? I guess I've just never paid attention to the boat. I'm always looking up at the boat going, oh my God, this boat is
I never look down and go, oh, it's red down there, that was
right.
That was weird right there, but hey.
So that was definitely really cool to learn. And yeah, some of these trivia questions, we're going to try to come up with some things that are, facts about the boat maybe, but they are few and far between to find good trivia questions regarding that. But we'll do our best. But we have one for this week as well. I'll go ahead and start out with that first. So in 2015, the question is, who became the first male godfather to christen a cruise ship? So I need to know who and what cruise ship and what boat.
Okay.
So next week we will, of course, go over that as well. So yes. You'll be pretty surprised.
I was, because I'm just like, okay, didn't know that.
Exactly. So today we're going to talk about research and savings. Which is, of course, the most, like I said, the most famous and dreaded part of cruising, because we have learned we're going to be kind of, like all over the place with this one today, because it is very difficult to kind of lock down unless you know exactly what you're looking for. I mean, we've said 1,000 times, you can fall down this rabbit hole of never ending, research.
Right.
But I want to talk about some of the options, I guess, for savings, because there is some unique options, but some of them are more or less if you're, very wealthy, because one of them is stocks. So you have to buy, I looked at this, and Royal Caribbean was what, 153.13 today, and so you would have to spend over $10,000 on that stock, because you'd have to buy 100 shares of stock just to get, what was it? I said, so
$50.
Basically, yeah, it was 14 or more nights was $250 credit. And then 6 to 13 nights was $100 credit. 5 nights or less was $50. And I was like, wow, that's a lot of money to get $50
credit.
On-board credit. So Carnival stocks are a little better, and Norwegian. So we've got 17.14 per share and then 18.45 per share. But I personally will never do that option.
Right. So, I agree.
The second one was credit cards. I looked into that, and it was, you would have to transfer a balance, to get some onboard credits. Again, it's still maybe a $250 onboard credit So it does have a little bit of perks, and you can put, if you did a cruise credit card, you could put all your cruise stuff on there, and
Which I do. I haven't really looked into the perks part of it because I don't know if there's like a limit that needs to be spent on that card in order for you to get the perks, but we do have the Carnival Cruise credit card.
There was, what did it say? Royal for 30,000 points to get $300 worth of savings. So, and you have to spend that within 90 days. So, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, we could spend that because we could just book all kinds of cruises, but I don't know if it's a transfer balance or anything like that. But then, of course, you're looking at high interest rates as well, 19 to 29%. So you have to take that into consideration. Yeah. The other option was gift cards. And my sister actually mentioned this to me because she's doing it for the Disney cruise. And I was like, I had never heard of the whole gift card idea. But basically, you can join AARP, which, by the way, you only have to be 18 to join. I didn't know that. Everybody knew that. So I am now officially an AARP member.
Go you!
Pretty excited. The perks of getting older.
Right.
But and Best Buy, if you're a membership, have a membership with Best Buy, you could do, so it's $100 gift card, but you pay like $90, and then or a $500 gift card and you pay $450. So again, it's another onboard credit savings of about $250, and you can purchase, I believe, 25 of them a month. So yeah. And then you just, I believe like Royal Caribbean, you have to send an email and they apply it to your balance. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have found for ways to save on kind of unique ways. And of course, another, other savings and research is you need to go to different websites. So like Vacations to Go, cruises.com, cheapcruises.com, cruisewatch.com, and maybe even Cruise Critics or Shipmate. They all have deals. You just have to really just pay attention and watch out for all of those little alerts, and things like that. So, but yeah.
And if you have the time to sit there and actually do the research, kudos to you for doing this research because you dug into quite a bit of information.
Yeah, because I can tell you, I don't feel any bit prepared for this podcast today because I feel like it's so much information that you just become overwhelmed with, just going to all the sites. And then by the time, we talked about it, we're like, well, what was it for, Eastern or Western? And I was like,
I don't remember. Go back and find it.
It wasn't obviously good enough for me to book it today. So, but it was, but it's definitely, you got to do your homework and you got to research and figure out what's in your budget and what works for you and your family. And again, last time we talked about, I think, did we talk about excursions and things like that? I don't remember. Okay. Yeah. But you just, there's ways to save on that. You don't always have to do excursions. The boat has a bunch of
money saving thing there.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can stay on the boat, when everybody else gets off, and, they have, I believe they have some spa days that are discounts and things like that if you stay on the boat. So, I mean,
on port days, sometimes, yes, they do have that.
Yeah.
All depends on the cabin you want. That's a money saver as well.
Yeah.
If you're on a tight budget, an interior room might be your best bet. But then again, an ocean view is a little bit more expensive. It goes up each type of room you get, but it all depends on your budget.
Yeah.
We can't afford a suite, so I'll probably never get a suite.
So have you ever researched how much a suite costs?
No, me and my husband took a cruise on Carnival one time, and it was like a last minute thing because I guess our last cruise was canceled because of a hurricane or something like that. So when we booked again, they were like, the only room we have left is a junior suite. And I'm like, what?
Right.
No, I can't afford that. I can't afford that. And my husband's like, no. It's like, no, we're not getting that because we know those are pricey. But it came out to be that that one wasn't too expensive. But once we got on the boat, I was like, this ain't no different than a regular balcony room to me.
Well, it was probably
One
literally like this much extra of the balcony.
That or the room or something. It was a junior suite and it was on one of their smaller boats. So
What boat was that on?
Elation.
Okay, so out of Jacksonville. Okay, I thought that's when you did back to back.
No, this was before that.
No. Oh, okay. Okay.
Because we had
So
the same
there
room
was
back to back. So the suite was prior to that.
okay. So there was no difference in size really, but do you remember what, because they gave you the upgrade, right?
Not necessarily gave us the upgrade. They just didn't have any balcony rooms left.
Okay.
And I didn't want an ocean view. I wanted a balcony. And they said all we have left is a junior suite. And we got it probably definitely cheaper than probably what it would have been because it was a last minute cruise and we didn't have like a long time to pay for it. So it was.
Which is funny because, you know, a lot of the research that I've looked into, you know, if you go, well, how do you save money on cruises? And one of the biggest things is don't book at the last minute. But it's funny because some people get the best deals at the last minute.
Right.
Because they're trying to fill the rooms. So I really don't know which one to really say is the right answer to that. You know, it's just one of those things. Again, you're just going to have to do your research and you're going to have to really just call and keep up to date on any price changes or, you know, room upgrades or, you know, anything like that. You just keep calling the cruise line, I guess, and bugging them, which I'm sure they'll be thrilled about. They'll be thrilled, you know, but they're going to be like, we heard on this podcast that you just need to keep calling the cruise line.
That's right. You told us to do this. I don't know about that.
Right. But definitely, you know, again, do your research, and it's such a struggle to just find that sweet spot of what you're really looking for. You know, again, if you're just looking to go and stay on the boat and just party and, you know, excursions don't matter to you, then great. You know, you'll save a ton of money there as well. You know, and the drink package. Let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah. Something I've never done, something you have done.
Yeah, and we've done both. And I can personally say my opinion on that is, unless you're one of those people that you feel like you have to max it out at 15 a day, there is a bit of a savings to not doing the drink package. We've got home and we've gotten our, you know, itemized list of what everything costs, and we've itemized it, and we were like, okay, we saved, you know, $300, and it's like, you know, that doesn't seem like a lot, but in the long run, it's like, you know, that's quite a bit of money. You know, I mean, you could do an excursion or anything else with, but, you know, you just have to be mindful that you can't, you know, even if you do go over that limit. Because I was telling my husband, I was like, if we do spend what the drink package costs, then okay, that we would have made out the same amount of money. You know, right. If we spend over, then, you know, we need to rethink some things. But
yeah, especially when the drinks are like, God, you figure about $11, $12 a piece.
Yeah.
You get that times 15 a day.
Yeah.
Then the drink package might be
it adds up. It might be worth it. Right. And, you know, and there again, another tip is, and then we found out on our Hawaii cruise, is try to stick to the same bar. Find a bar that you really like.
Yes, I
Get
agree.
to know
I
them
miss
very
that bar so
well.
much. I miss it so much.
Yeah, Red Frog. But
Red
get to
Frog
know
Pub.
get to know your bartender really well, because they kind of give you a little extra here and there sometimes, or um they're not as chintzy, should I say, on some of that, because sometimes I'll get a drink and I'm like, I swear this is just Coke.
Yeah,
There's
and make
no
sure you have
bourbon in here.
alcohol. They do make sure you have your alcohol in your drink.
Right, exactly. So you can also watch them. So
That's true.
we went on a cruise ship. God, was it Oasis, I think, of the Seas? Do you remember? I don't know if when you went on it, but they had a bionic bar, and
Um, I don't remember seeing it. I remember the one bar I did remember seeing that they had was the one that kind of lifted up in the Rising Tides bar.
oh yeah, it goes up and down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, no, that was so this bionic bar. I don't know if they still have it or not, because my husband was saying that he heard that they got rid of it, but he hadn't done any research. But
He leaves that to you.
whatsoever. He leaves that up to me. Yeah, and but they made really good drinks, surprisingly. There was no, I don't want to say human error with, oh, I didn't put as much.
Right.
It's all measured out, so it kind of, was really nice. But you ordered it on an iPad, and then it pulled the bottles from up above and poured. Yeah, it was really cool to watch. I'll have to show you a video next time. But yeah, but yeah, so definitely do your research. And we wanted to show you guys, I guess, some prices for just Carnival, because again, we can't do all the cruise lines. We'll be here forever. And Vacations to Go. And I think that Vacations to Go is I booked through them on our cruise to Aruba, and they were amazing. They have really, really good prices. And as you will see on the spreadsheet we kind of created, that, if you want to pull that up. Yeah. So basically, January, February is what we're kind of looking at. And so we did Eastern Port Canaveral, Eastern Miami, Western Miami, 6 days, 5 nights, 2 people. And then, so just did all the interior ocean view and the balcony. So if you look at these prices compared to, and I think what was it? Oh, in green, I did 1,500 or less was interior ocean, 2,000 was a balcony, or 2,000 or less was balcony. But if you look at Vacations to Go prices, so they're a little bit better than even Carnival. But again, you have to, the only, I think, negative, what did I say negative about Vacations to Go was you have to call them up and book through them, or email, go back and forth through email. You can't just book it through their website. You have to give them a fast deal number and everything like that. But they are super helpful, and they are available. I don't remember if they're on the West Coast or not, but they are available for at least a couple hours after 5 o'clock we get off work and things like that. So if you have to do some research, but yeah, I mean, what do you think about those prices, April?
I think they're pretty average, honestly. Now I thought I heard you tell me something about Vacations to Go. The one thing was, I think versus going on a website. Let me go ahead and clear this out of here. Going on a website like the Carnival or Royal or Norwegian's website, you can kind of choose what boat and all those different options you like to choose, versus Vacations to Go doesn't really give you those types of options.
They break it down, and they do actually, I wish I could show you. Maybe I'll find it real quick, but basically, I mean, they do break it down, and they do have all the boats listed. And so you can filter, they have filters, which are pretty cool. But let me try to look for something, but I'll try to find it. But if not, we'll share it the next time around. But basically, you know, it has a lot of, you know, good features. It's a little overwhelming, their website is, because it has,
I found it to be a little busy, to be
it was
honest.
busy. Yeah, that's a good word. Because and it kind of can get a little overwhelming. And I think that's why they want you to call, or if you have somebody that you can email, literally they're able to help you out more, you know, easily and navigate it. And you just give them that fast deal number and so things like that. But yeah, I mean, you know, Royal and Carnival, their websites are more aesthetically pleasing. where it looks really pretty. So
Listen, all the pretty colors.
right. So yeah, definitely. But it's, you know, it's got its perks, and I would definitely I wanted to show you real quick while I am thinking about it. What was it? So we looked at this one today. To pull up that, yeah, that one. So
Okay.
Cruise Watch, I just looked at this today. This was pretty cool. So I'm not as familiar with this yet, and to see, you know, like what emails I get coming in. But basically, you have your preferences, so you can set up, you know, all this information. So, you know, you got your cruise, how many cruises you've done before, departure port, cruise lines, things like that. And it, so I guess they're supposed to like inform you if there's any price changes, or, you know, you set like an amount, which I was like, $1 sounds good.
Yeah. I'll take a cruise for
Let me
$1.
know when it gets to $1. But scroll down a little bit.
That would be on your end.
Oh, would it? Okay. All right.
That's
Well,
something-
let me. Okay, you're right.
If you want to make it bigger, you know how to make it bigger.
Hold on. Okay,
There
so
you go.
there we go. Travel planning. So you can put in the special preferences, departure time, budget. I put, you know, 2,500 or less. Select the room and where you want to go. And then, you know, I guess it emails you. We'll find out. We'll report back on that. As you know, I see some things come through, but you know, you can find cruise best deal, last minute cruises. So I'm excited to see this one, because again, I mean, doing the research, I mean, I've run across all kinds of things that I never even knew existed. What was one of them? You know, like you can set price drop alerts. I want to find out if you do that through the actual cruise line, or if, you know, through their stuff. But yeah, you can just kind of scroll through and see all prices likely to drop. So that's kind of interesting. So you can set this and say, okay, I want, whenever it drops, let me know, you know, and it'll send you an email.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Now, if any of our cruisies out there are really familiar with this website, any other money saving websites, please let us know. Send us an email and
Absolutely.
let us know that. And that way we can kind of pass along that information to other cruisies out there that aren't so aware of stuff like this as well.
Yeah, exactly. So definitely share that information, because I would definitely like to know a little bit more about it myself. So, you know, because if there's all kinds of things out there. And I was talking to somebody over the weekend, and they were like, they're going on the Utopia, and I was like, oh gosh, I really want to go on that cruise ship. And they got, I think, a balcony room for 1,800. I don't know how many nights, and we were busy doing something and I completely forgot to ask, but how many nights. But you know, a balcony room for a brand new boat, that's pretty cool. I'm like, that's not bad, because when we looked at the Icon, it was like, we'll be not going on that boat for a little while.
Yeah, because that one was a little bit pricey.
Prices need to come down a little bit.
Oh, yeah, definitely a lot more than what.
Yeah, but here's the thing: if you do go on that boat, I don't think you'll need to book any excursions, because it looks like
be able to afford it.
Might not, thank God food's included, but but
Wow.
there looks to be so much, stuff on that boat that it's like you probably wouldn't even through entire week, get through the entire boat anyway. So, definitely. But
Now, what I did notice, that I've gone on Carnival's website because I've done Carnival quite a bit,
mhm.
and I have done like a comparison as far as like being a frequent cruiser with Carnival versus being a newbie with Carnival.
Yeah.
Using the same room, the same destination, the same amount of nights, the same port, so forth. Everything side by side comparison. I do not have a chart for that, but I can tell you, doing it, there was no difference in price. It's exactly the same for
Yeah.
frequent cruiser versus a new cruiser if you go on their website.
So that would be interesting to hear back from our, cruises is basically, what are the perks? Do you get any perks for being, gold, platinum, whatever? All the cruise lines have their own little, ones, but it would be nice to know what, what kind of benefits that there are out there. Is it just you get an extra drink? Because if that's the case, now, I mean, yeah, if you're a big gambler, I mean, we ran into somebody on our Hawaii cruise that, the cruise line paid for his, but, he was a huge
I don't know how that
gambler.
works.
Well, I need to know how to gamble, number one. That's most
Well,
important.
spend about $10,000, maybe you'll get a free cruise.
Yeah, but again, in like the first video, I said I'm very cheap, so I have a hard time just, getting rid of my money like that. So unless I know how to gamble, but I know that some people were telling us, certain tips and tricks, and I was just like, and I went in there, I was like, I'm going to win something. It is going to happen tonight. And I think I came back in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Because I was done.
Now,
Lost it all.
the other side to that was because we have a casino rate with Carnival, I called them up and gave them the same information as I did as if I pulled it online, like I did the comparison side by side. And it was maybe about $75 cheaper.
Okay.
It's not a bad thing, but
no, and I mean, yeah, any savings is a savings, but in this grand scheme of things, it's like, okay, but if I'm coming in to gamble, I would think that would be a bigger perk, but obviously, $75. Oh, and that was something else. What did I say it was? With the booking, if it's military or 55 and up, it only saved you $30. So again, I mean, yeah, it's a savings, a dollar's a dollar, but
nowadays every penny counts.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to see if they had an AARP one that I could join since I'm now a member. But yeah, so it's definitely, a long, grueling process and doing the research part. And I think that's the most hated part I have with, I mean, it's exciting to look. And it's also, it's exciting to get excited about, oh, we could possibly be going here in Aruba or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But in the same, scheme of things, it's like trying to find that best deal. It can be exhausting, and then you have to try to remember where you saw that rate, because it's like, I can't screenshot everything. I can't write everything down. I'll be here all day.
It has so much space on it. I can't save everything.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, so then you're like, okay, I remember seeing something priced over here at Royal or Carnival, and because we get asked that all the time, we're like, well, what's the best deal? And we're like, oh my God, I've seen so many deals, but I don't remember, which boat it was, what, Eastern, Western, was it out of Miami? Was it out of, so yeah. And, but definitely, keep a lookout on any of the websites. Like I said, call often. I mean, that's what their job is there for anyway, keep them busy. Job
And
security.
another little tip. I don't know how it happens with other cruise lines, but I know Carnival. If you go on there and do like a search of a cruise that you want, that you're interested in, and you're not just ready to pay for it right then or put a deposit down because you're kind of that iffy stage,
Yeah.
they will hold that room
Oh, that is true.
information for you for a couple of days.
That
until
is
you
true. I
decide.
forgot about that. Vacations to Go did that for us. That is a good tip.
I
I
don't
didn't think
remember if
about that.
Royal does that because I don't cruise with them as much. I will start doing that because I'm going to try all the cruise ships like we have talked about. And
Right.
also, I found out from Carnival, not from Carnival, but I read an article. This is probably old news. Some of you cruises have probably heard this already, but very exciting news that Carnival is going to come out with 3 mega ships. They're kind of competing with Royal Caribbean. I believe that it's going to be in maybe the year 2028, 29, and 30, maybe around that general area. I don't have the article right here in front of me, but they're trying to compete with Royal because Royal's got those large mega ships. So I think Carnival will come out with those as well. Don't know the names of them yet. Don't know any other information, but that's something to kind of look forward to if you cruise with Carnival. And if you always think Carnival's got the most smallest ships and, yada, 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 well, they're going to have bigger ships. So it might interest you to try them out once.
It's just amazing to me how those things float. I mean, seriously, that'll be another podcast we'll talk about is how these things are built. Because I'm like, this is crazy to me. Like, how they can get these moving cities, like literally to just float. It's mind blowing. And especially because they're making them bigger and bigger and bigger.
Well, before you know it, they'll become like sky cruise lines. You'll be flying in the air, an open thing, or the world's just like an oyster, and you find all kinds of treasures just moving forward in life because technology.
Moving up there. Cruising will be an old thing, and we'll be going to the moon or something like that.
Something like that. Mars. Something.
I can tell you, I will not be a Moonie. Okay.
Yeah, no Moonie. No Mars.
I will always be a cruiser because there's nothing fancy up there.
None.
That doesn't even look fun. Yeah. It doesn't even look fun. I've seen some movies in the past and you're just like, that's what you think is going to be the future? Great.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, and there was something else, and I forgot to tell you about this. So news to you too. So the lady that I was talking to over the weekend, she made a comment about the fact that some of them do price matching. Did you know that?
No, I didn't. That's interesting.
I didn't either. And I was like, oh, and I wanted to pick her brain about it a little bit more, but we were at a baby shower, so.
Which is understandable. Don't take the focus away from the new mama. Right.
Right. I had to focus. I was like,
I
gotta look into it a little bit more, and I will reach out to her because she, liked our Instagram. So definitely want to ask her some more questions because she's the one going on the Utopia, and I was like, price match? Who price match? What?
Well,
so that's interesting to know.
You can do like that. You price match a lot of other things, so why not a cruise?
Right, but of course, that's probably a little, tip that not everybody knows because they probably don't want that out there as much.
That's true.
But do you want the room booked or do you not? So,
Now we're not claiming to be any any professionals regarding cruising. Again, I think we've said this in our last podcast. It's just our general information, our experience from cruising. Again, if you guys out there know something, we'd love to.
Yeah, please share.
And we're not promoting any particular cruise line.
No,
it's totally your choice. Your vacation is what you make it.
Yeah.
So it all depends on what you want and what your budget is.
Yeah, exactly. And same thing. I'm not promoting any specific website. I'm just saying what I like personally. Mm-hmm. So, but I want to just play around with a couple of them and kind of get an idea if like even some of those what is it, cruise critics and things like that, because they do have some deals out there. So it'd be nice to, because I mean, for the most part, we've always gone to the website, and one of the tips that I will say is call. If they show that all the rooms are booked and things like that, call them immediately, because you and I, well, no, was it our cruise? I think, no, it was our cruise, because we wanted to, it was for Norwegian. That's our one in November of next year. I was like, I know we weren't next door to each other. We wanted to be next door to each other, and the room showed booked, and so I called Norwegian, and they were like, no, it's available. So it's a little, I don't know why, and I would be interested to know if any of our fellow cruisies would explain that. Why is the website not accurate in that way? They show all the rooms being booked. Maybe is that to scare you? Hurry up, get the last room.
I think it's more like I feel like they do that just to have a couple of rooms to say that they are all, they have them booked, but they save some because they want to do those last minute deals for those people.
And that's true. I mean, and that could be why they're doing it. I don't know. Every time I've ever called the cruise line, I'm literally like, oh, I should probably ask that, and I forget. So
because your mind is somewhere else.
Yeah, because I'm just super excited that I've got it booked, and it's we're ready to go. So, but definitely
research our next cruise for your husband's birthday. So
yes,
let's not forget that. With all this research you've done, we need to get on top of that.
I need to get on top of that, and and figure out who we're all in and sending invites to see if they can go. So I got to get a little behind that, so need to hurry up, but definitely share with us if there is some ways to save, and good websites to go to, or if you got great contacts, share those. I mean, but definitely. So I think that's all I have for what research I've done.
Okay, perfect. And we always ask you guys to like, share, subscribe,
comment,
and good or bad, we're here to listen.
Bring it on. Good or bad, either way, like us regardless.
Exactly. You either like us, love us, or hate us.
Exactly.
Can't love everybody.
So, but definitely. So don't forget the trivia. So, and don't, what was I said? In 2015, who became the first male godfather to christen a cruise ship? Who, what cruise boat, or cruise line, and what boat? So we'll go over that next week.
And what boat it is, yes.
Yeah. So, and have we decided what we're talking about next week?
Not necessarily. I think we were basically trying to go along the lines of, okay, so this is
what's next in the process.
Right. What's next in that process? So you've done this research. You've booked a cruise. It's going to kind of be along those lines of, okay, now your cruise is booked. So what?
Oh yeah. So let's talk about the the travel arrangements, and let's talk about like the packing and what's what's the good, bad things to bring, what not to bring. I can tell you, don't bring a fan.
Some people will probably have to.
Don't bring a fan that's plugged in.
Right. That's the clue there.
They will confiscate it, Carnival.
But we will definitely go along the lines of how start to finish from a cruise, and then we'll just start doing conversations just in general, about our experiences and food and games and shows and whatever else.
Yeah, and
so
just whatever.
Just, to give you
tell us whatever you want to hear about.
Yes, definitely.
Sure. But
we're open to that, and I kind of thought that maybe later on down the line, once we get more acclimated, we'll maybe do a Q&A with our cruisies out there and do like a live show.
Yeah. Oh, that one, I can't wait for that. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, because there's no outfits on that one.
Well, I mean, and I can say we have done really good.
So far. Knock
I'm
on
gonna pat
wood.
myself on the back. But
Okay.
definitely hear from you guys and like, subscribe. We have Facebook, we have a website, cruisefixchicks.com. So we'll put all of our links and everything out there. We'll also upload our videos and what is coming next on the podcast, so you can keep up with those and see what's upcoming. So you can.
Sounds good. That's great.
Yeah.
All right. So again, we appreciate you guys joining us for this episode number 2. And jumping down that rabbit hole with us to try to
It is a rabbit hole.
So until next time, tune in, get your fix, and cruise on. Goodbye.
Bye.